Shady Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the POT. Podcast tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it like just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash. Straight to the face, I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrestling where you need to be. Shady Bobby, this show improve like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrestling where you need to be. Shady Bobby, this show improve like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Wrasslin with them wrestling boys. I'm the POT alongside my tag team partner Big E, and we're here to bring you another episode of premium wrestling content. What's going on, bro?
My brother. Hey man, number 27. Racking them up. We're gonna be at 100 before you know it. Hey, it's welcome to Wrasslin, man. We're gonna jump right into the 27th episode, and that will be reviewing Night of Champions. As overall as a show, what'd you think about it? We'll get into specifics, but of course, like always, the crowd is crazy overseas. They're always way more involved because they don't see it as much. You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course, they're stepping it up this year. I think they're gonna have the Royal Rumble there in Saudi Arabia and another one they were saying, but you know, of course, they getting more. But them overseas crowds are something else, man. They real energetic. Yeah, man. So what overall? What'd you think about the show?
To be honest with you, man, I thought they hit on all the matches. I watched it live, and then had a chance to watch it again. And you know, you always look at it a little different second time around. I was able to kind of really analyze the matches. You know, my initial reaction was a good reaction on half the matches, but then when I had a chance to really watch it again, I actually liked all the matches. It had a lot of old school feel to a lot of the matches.
Yeah.
Talk about, you know, once we go into them. So
yeah, we definitely on the same page on that. Well, let's get into it, man. Starting off the show was Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes.
We mentioned last week that we didn't see that one happening because they didn't really have a long build up for a match of that caliber.
Yeah.
However, they told a story, and I think they planted seeds for something that's going to happen later on down the line. But the match itself, I felt like they delivered. You know, you got your typical Randy. He did the superplex, and then he's selling the lower back, and he's selling his.
And that's, I don't mean to cut you off, but when you talked about old school, that's the first thing that came to my mind was that old school horseman-ish concentrate on the body part that's hurt the whole match. You know, and the thing about the way it worked out with this match was they're both faces. So Cody kind of took that almost a heel approach. By the way, you know, this is his mentor, this is his guy. But they went at it, and I mean, he concentrated on the back the whole night, and I think Randy did an amazing job at selling his back, and
absolutely,
you know, that gives him, you know, what to say. If I wouldn't have hurt my back, I wasn't 100%. You would have never beat me, or it's like you say, it's setting something up to happen in the future. WrestleMania type thing, you know what I'm saying? Like something's gonna cost somebody a title or something. Something's gonna happen.
Right.
So yeah, that was
match
was good.
Well, see, another thing that you mentioned Cody's approach. That was like totally opposite of how he learned from what happened that WrestleMania match with Cena.
Yeah.
Where he didn't take the shortcuts. It was like that match he was willing to not necessarily take shortcuts, but he was willing to try to capitalize on that kind of stuff. Because you got to think their roles reversed because Randy had a chance to do the punt kick and
didn't want
he
to pull a trigger.
He shook his head. No, like he didn't want to do it. Yeah. Then when he finally tried to do it, of course, it got countered.
Right. And I like the way he did it because it's Randy Orton and he goes to do it and thinks about it. But then it's like, you know what? I'm Randy Orton. I am going to do it. But it was like that hesitation is what cost him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah. But I thought, man, as far as the match went and, Cody going over, and like I said, we both wasn't expecting them to even face each other. We were I'm thinking Randy Orton was going to be king of the ring, So, yeah, but they really got us on that one. But I thought they told like you said, they told a real good story and set some things up, and some things are going to happen with them too. And it's probably going to be a prize involved when they go at it.
Well, even think about the finish of the match. Mm-hmm. Randy took turnbuckle off.
Right.
And when he was about to throw him into the turnbuckle, he countered and he ended up hitting it. And then he got hit with crossroads.
Right.
There was a lot of false finishes. It seemed like I seen so many Cody cutters and RKOs. They was doing disaster kicks. They did all the bells and whistles.
When he did the Cody cutter off the top rope, that was mean. Like he can really walk them ropes, man, like he does when he going up but when he tried to do the and got caught with the RKO, that was nasty too. And Randy, he's so good at that, catching people and making it look so good, man. Was definitely impressed with the way they went about it. Definitely was impressed with the storytelling they did with a short amount of time. And then the promo afterwards with you got that Randy Orton heel look, but then again, it could be Cody that turns heel later on and they can switch it up. It's one of them things where there's a few things they can do, and I'm sure they're gonna work it out, but that's gonna be a feud that's gonna come. That's gonna be a feud to watch here soon. Definitely.
I mean, that would be something different as well because people would probably expect Randy to be the one to turn heel. So that would be a nice swerve if it was Cody.
And
so we'll see.
Even the crowd there. The crowd was more on Randy Orton's side than they were on Cody's side.
That's true.
Yeah, man. So that's definitely, you got a good match. You got good storytelling. You got some old school feel to it. And you also got something set up for later. So I think that sounds like a home run if you ask me. You know what I mean?
Right. What a way to start the show out.
Right. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez, the street fight, Riyadh Boulevard street fight.
Right.
I'm just gonna say that riptide off the top. It was a lot. First of all, it was a lot of stiff moments in that match. When she did that, when she had that trash can on her and did almost like the Shining Wizard on the outside. That was crazy.
She did that Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, but they went at it. But that riptide off the top of the rope, off of the table, it reminded me of Kurt Angle when him and Shane McMahon. And I believe that was King of the Ring, was it not?
That was King of the Ring. That was the one when he barely backed him through the glass.
Through the plexiglass.
Yeah, which
was
where he had to do it
horrible.
like 2 or 3 different times.
Right. But that's also when he did the angle slam off of that, the plywood off that was set up on the top rope.
Right.
And I thought of that immediately when she did that. But I mean, she nailed it.
Right.
And like I said, all the matches were good. I was definitely impressed by both of them in their match. And I thought, it went the way it was supposed to. And if you were given a grade to the match, and we're not talking about 4-star, 5-star, if you gave Cody and Orton a B+, I would have gave Rhea and Raquel a B, a solid B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it kept the show going right along.
Yeah, I mean, hell, it was a great street fight. I mean, Roxanne, not Roxanne, I be forgetting her name.
Yeah.
Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel, she looked real good tonight.
Yeah.
I said tonight, like that match.
Yeah.
They went at it. It was a good street fight. They had moments outside the ring, inside the ring, even with the weapons. The kendo stick to Rhea when she had to tie up in the ropes was nasty. I mean, it was but I knew when she brought that chair in, that was gonna be the counter. I knew that where she was gonna mess up. That's when Rhea was able to kick her and take advantage of at that moment. But then when she did the stuff when they broke the table and not the table but the barricade when they had the little cover from the table, like they did some stuff, man. It was hard hitting. I thought it was a great street fight, to be honest with you. And then also for those that don't know, they have a lot of history, NXT history.
Right.
So like there are a little more layers to their little storyline than what some casual fans may know. But I thought they delivered, and they didn't make Raquel look weak at all. Like she looked like a monster. And Rhea,
and it's important. That's important.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I thought they really delivered with that one. So we'll see what happens going forward because her tag team partner hurt. And, they had the Evolution PPL coming up soon, and they're supposed to make an announcement, I think, this week about what they're gonna do about the tag titles. So I'm thinking they probably gonna have a Roxanne Perez probably defend the titles with her. I mean, that seems like that would make sense. But who knows? But as far as that match, though, I agree with you. If you want to give it a grade, I'm cool with that, B.
Yeah. Now, when we talked last week and we did the preview, we did a AJ Styles and Dominic. And if you just watching this show and not keeping up with wrestling per se, Dominic Mysterio's injured. They didn't have the match. And this next match was some sort of a replacement or an add-on. With Sami Zayn's background, I think is, important for him to be there anyway when they do those shows overseas because he is, that's a part of his upbringing and as far as his nationality and stuff like that. So Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. I look at Karrion Kross as like not like they're trying to make him be like a Bray Wyatt or a cult leader. You know what I'm saying? But it almost gives you that feel. He's trying to get him a little crew together. Nobody wants to join him, the people that he wants, but he's a master manipulator.
Right.
If you want to give him a name, so that that part he's great at, and he can go in the ring, but his outside the ring antics are what keeps him employed or keeps him at the spot where he's at. Because it's not like they really use him in the ring a whole lot. A lot of his stuff is backstage, but he's really good at that. And I think that it was good for them to be on there because you need to see that he can go too.
Right.
He can in the ring, but he also brings those antics into the ring, as far as all that trash talking and like calling him a liar and all this stuff, and slapping him in the face, tell it, but match was I thought the match was good. I'm not gonna say they stole the show or anything like that. I would say the first two matches were a little bit stronger than this one, but I will say Sami Zayn got a great pop when he came out, and they were behind him. And he was the ultimate babyface in the match, with the choking him out and just, the never quit, never die attitude. He's almost out. Then he gets towards the rope, almost falls out again, and finally gets a hold of the rope. It's the ultimate babyface character. He pretty much took a beating over half the match, but was still able to get the victory, and got the hell of a kick, which is a hell of a kick, But I'm not going to say it was as strong as the first two, but I'm going to say the energy was there, and it didn't take the air out of the building or anything like that or give anybody a bad taste. It kept the show going at an even spot.
Right.
That makes any sense to you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I actually thought it was a hell of a match myself. Now, as far as Karrion Kross, I think that they dropped the ball with him when they first brought him up. Vince, he did that with a lot of NXT superstars that came up that era where he kind of changed up their gimmick a little bit, which that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Seemed like he would try to continue to go with what got them over. But hey, that we're not the bookers.
Right.
However,
even though we should
sometimes some guys or women don't get to recover from bad booking decisions, and for them to try to get over. Some don't never recover from that. I think Karrion's one of those that they're trying. I just think that doesn't really matter what he does at this point. I don't think nobody's gonna really take him seriously.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. As far as him working the ring, I'm glad he got a chance to work at a PPL, and you see why he's employed. Like them Saito suplexes he was doing, and just the whole old school, like I mentioned, being old school. This card had, even in some of the other matches where this match, they had a lot of headlocks and a lot of rest holds, but it was like you said, submissions, different submissions. Sammy, did the arm 3 times, the third time, and he's hulking up, and like you said, with the crowd, and Sami Zayn, man. He, ever since he did that, I mean, he always been good, but ever since WrestleMania 38 with Johnny Knoxville, man, it was like, you see how much of a showman that dude really is.
Yeah.
What if he's baby face, what if he's heel, the stuff he did with the Bloodline, the work he always do with Kevin Owens. Like, the guy is magic, man. Even when he, beat Gunther at WrestleMania 40 for the IC title to break that streak. You don't have, he's not my favorite superstar.
Right.
But he has intangibles that other wrestlers don't have, man.
Yeah.
And he's, to me, is like I talked about Chad Gable a couple weeks ago. Sami Zayn is an unsung hero for that company. He can have a good match with damn near anybody. And I truly believe that. And
like you
this
said,
card was no exception.
You just gave an example of WrestleMania with Johnny Knoxville.
Right.
A lot of guys would look at that as disrespect. He took it, ran with it, and made it work, and let them guys get over on him. And I think that builds trust.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. When the guys, they're finding who they can depend on. I was watching this thing with Triple H the other day when he was saying him and Shawn Michaels were talking to each other.
Right.
Triple H said to Shawn Michaels, out of all the superstars you've wrestled been in the ring with, how many of them actually think they get it? Like, get the business, get what's important. And he said, I might be able to count all of them on one hand. And he said, and I might not be able to fill it up. And you know how many superstars and Hall of Famers he's feuded with, been in the ring with? So when you talk about a guy like Sami Zayn, it makes me think of that. He's one of those guys that gets it.
Right.
That gets what the business is about. It's not about wins and losses a lot of the time.
Right.
It's not, sometimes you got to be a company man to move up in the company. A lot of people don't like to hear that. And a lot of people do not live by that, but it's true. Everywhere you go, it's always a ladder to climb. And sometimes you got to do things that you wouldn't normally do to get on the ladder to be able to climb.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think, man, I like you say, he's one of those unsung heroes, but I think he's a trustworthy guy where they know, like we just said, that's supposed to be Dominic and AJ.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they know they can trust to bring Sammy in if anything goes wrong.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He's earned their trust. And hopefully he's earned their trust enough for one day to have the title around his waist. Because I don't think that would be a bad move. I think folks would go crazy if he won the title.
Oh, yeah. That's a story. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, this was a big one. Solo and Jacob Fatu for the U.S. title. Oh, first of all, let me just say this. I already dig Jacob Fatu's music, but when flames come out to match the beat, when that boom, boom, boom.
That was dope.
Man, it's so cool how they do that, man. And it's just like, you know, they signed a deal with shoot. What's the producer's name they just signed a deal with? Metro Boomin. Right. Like he's supposed to be doing Jacob Fatu a new interest theme. Like he's already got signed up for a lot of them guys to do this stuff. Like they're making way different moves now. And that's not Bill Connie. Right. You know what I'm saying? That wrote for the Karate Kid and stuff. This was, and of course, Metro Boomin been in the game for a minute, but it's still reaching out to a different crowd than you usually would reach out to. If you see what I'm saying. So I don't know why they popped in my head, but Solo and Jacob, man. Solo definitely got the numbers game down. You know, that man got all the backup. Mm-hmm. So what I learned last night watching it, like I said, you know, watching it today as well, that you're gonna have another bloodline civil war. Right. It's coming. They Tongaloa came back last night. Hikuleu, I don't know what they're calling him something. I can't remember what they're calling. I had it written down somewhere, but it's not going to be Hikuleu. That's why they didn't say that last night. Right. No, they gave him a name. I just can't remember. Lower. They call it something lower. Yeah. But it's Tongaloa and Tamatonga's brother, the youngest one, the 7-footer. You know, I don't know if he shoots 7 foot, but he's WWE 7 foot. He might be that. He might be that Undertaker Kevin Nash 7 foot. He's about 6'9", 6'10". 6'10", yeah. Yeah. The big man and the medium-sized man. Right. Hey, man, shout out to Scott Hall, man. And just for even saying that, R.I.P. Scott Hall. One of the greatest in-ring performers. You know, not the greatest, was a good worker, but as far as up here for the wrestling business, it really did. It could have really got used way more than it was, man. But regardless of that, man, anytime we bring up somebody that ain't here no more, it's always RIP to him. So absolutely. But Yeah, man. Solo's got all the backup. He's got all the backup. So I don't know. He's got three. Got JC Mateu, Jeff Cobb. You got Tungaloa. You got Hikaleu, or whatever they're gonna call him. And then I don't know when Tomatonga's coming back. So with Tomatonga come back, it's I mean, that's five guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So where are the other ones gonna come from? Are you gonna take Jay totally out of everything that he got going on and bring him back? Because they already been doing the thing with Jacob and Big Jim helping each other out, you know. But you're gonna bring Jay back in. You're gonna bring. You still got Lance and Noah. They're still in the Indies,
right?
You know, you got Zilla Fatu. He's been tag teaming with Jacob for the last year before Jacob got signed WWE. And I think Zilla. I'm a fan of Zilla. I like Zilla Fatu. And if you don't know who Zilla Fatu is Umaga's son, youngest son. And he's been wrestling for about 2 years now. And it might not even be 2 years. So that's why I don't like the fact where everybody's like, you need to bring Zilla in. And the guy's only been going for 2 years, 1.5 if that. You know, you got to get that repetition in. You got to get that ring time. And he's with, at Booker T school in reality of wrestling. So he's in the right place, So we'll see with all that. They've got, it's a couple of guys out there that are of the bloodline, the real bloodline, that haven't been signed yet. So we don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. You're going to have half the damn roster is Samoans here pretty soon.
The Samoan dynasty.
Right. They're going to have their own show. They are going to be wrestling each other on Thursdays.
They're going to be like NWO sold out.
Right. Rikishi doing commentate. Bro, have you seen any of Rikishi's podcasts?
Yeah, man.
Hey, man, that dude got his day. He all about his sons, dog. He got their back.
Oh, no doubt.
But you talking about pissed.
He need to unblock me. He need to unblock me. Shout out Rikishi, Samoa Dynasty.
Yeah. But he don't hold back on his.
Right.
At all. Like clearly he's not on a Legends deal or anything.
Right. No, you're right.
You're
right. That's why we've been involved in those storylines and stuff.
Right. And he be letting them have it. I mean, letting them have it. But let's get into the match. We had all that. First of all, you really, even these past months, Solo's been showing you that personality just keep coming out. At first, he wasn't saying anything.
Right.
Wasn't saying a word. He was the street fighter. Now he's got a red and black suit on with the gloves every week, making fun of everybody. All gas, no brains. Stuff like that's hilarious, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the whole match, I told you I loved you. You didn't love me. Just back and forth. And ultimate heel, just like Arn and Tully and Ole running out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And all, they use these storylines are over and over and over again, just doctored up anyway.
No doubt.
Yeah. Everybody steals from everybody in wrestling business. But as far as the match goes, I think Jacob really showed out. I think they both did. I think the Solo showed out more with his personality and still bringing that out because he can wrestle, man. It ain't rocket science when it's in. First of all, it's in his blood.
Right.
He can do it. He's been doing it in the Indies. He's doing it here. And if he wasn't good enough, no matter what his last name is or who he's tied with, he wouldn't be there. So his job is to get that personality out more. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing that, bro. When he did the after show was hilarious. When they were doing,
I saw that.
He was like, he's not even here. And he was like, what do you think? He was like, yeah, 4 letters. Stop.
Right. No yeet.
Right. So but Jacob, man, bro, Jacob let it all happen. That corkscrew jump over the top rope he did. Now I've seen him do that before, but he don't bring that out a lot.
Right.
You know, but I mean, bro, he did everything. He did the swanton, moonsault, jumped over the top. He jumped off the steps, clothesline. You know, he did the handspring into the ropes to knock JC Mateo off.
Right.
You know, he did everything. Super kicks, he did it all. He got all his stuff in. Came, you know, but of course, came up short, came out there with no backup. Solo's got all the backup. So it's you know, Solo got the hand up on everybody now because of the crew he got. And especially if you bring Tama Tonga back in the fold with him, like you say, they got 5 guys. You know, you got 4 guys watching your back at all times.
Right.
You know.
Well, you know, far as the match, it's again another one of those had an old school feel. It was a lot of headlocks, a lot of they took their time.
Yeah.
You know, with the moves and
they still did the high spots, but they were spread out.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you know, and Jacob, so he took a beating for a while. And you know, then of course when all the shenanigans happened, he was definitely outnumbered.
Right.
With that. And also I was cool with the title change. Solo deserved it. I mean, he been, like you said, we remember when he was just the enforcer. He didn't say shit. He was
his first single title.
Yeah.
First single title, man. So congratulations to him, man, for
right
getting past that
storyline.
Yeah.
For the storyline, that definitely a good fit. Because we know that feud is we know it's far from being over.
Right. And he should be on top of the world right now because he's the United States champion.
Right.
He's been in the company for less than 5 years.
Right.
His brothers were in it for 7 years before they won the titles. Jey Uso just won the Intercontinental title this year.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying?
As far as singles,
yeah. So as far as single titles, so he way ahead of the rest. Him and Jacob. You know what I mean? And they're more closer to each other's age and stuff too. So I'm sure it was a ball in there wrestling each other, especially with that crowd.
Yeah, they probably did that 1,000 times as kids, man.
Yeah, you know, but just imagine doing it. Now you're getting paid to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey man, just before we go any further, hey man, this is not a LeBron James. This is RIP to Mamba. But LeBron James is like Bret Hart on this podcast on this side. So I didn't want anybody to think it was a LeBron James jersey. My bad, bro.
You really had to do all that. First of all, you need to stop hating on that man. You can't. I mean, why you had to compare him to Bret Hart though? He had to go that far. Like, come on, man.
On this side of the screen, on this side,
come on, man.
Hey, over here on the east side of. Hey, over here on the east side of Welcome to Wrasslin. We on the east side over here, dog. On the east side, yeah, both of them the same. We don't mess with neither one of them.
That's so disrespectful. You know what? I want to cut.
R.I.P. the Mamba, man. R.I.P. the Mamba.
I'm cool with that, but the hell, the last 2 matches. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. All right.
Hey, this Solo Jones, man, I'll be taking over for the rest of the podcast by myself.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably would too. But back to the original scheduled program.
Right.
But again, I was cool with the title change, and obviously going to further along the storyline. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see. We know we're going to have Big Jimmy. and definitely somehow, some way, it's going to be Jay. I don't know if they're going to have to start attacking Jay or what.
Right.
Who knows? Because what is next for Jay?
Because you don't want to do the recruiting thing again. You know what I'm saying? But Jay was the one that said there's a reason why they didn't kick it with Jacob. So they're gonna have to, they gotta have a talk or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and then where's Roman?
Right.
He gonna resurface probably SummerSlam.
Just for that?
I mean, he probably gonna have multiple things going on. But think about it.
Yeah.
The thing was the whole heartbroken from the Heyman thing. So he's going after Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen. But again, what's gonna happen with this other situation, because it's a numbers game.
Right.
I don't, like you said, how many more?
Right. But also you would think they want to get a little creative. And instead of Solo always having the surprises, just let it be the regular old guys. Let Jacob be able to bring somebody new in.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying? You got the Usos, Jacob and Lance Noah, Zilla.
Yeah. Well, are they ready to do that now?
Right. So
I mean, you would think this would probably be another Survivor Series War Games match.
Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah.
So we about to be? So we got 4 months. A lot can happen in 4 months.
Yeah, that's a lot of build-up time too, though.
That's what
I'm saying. And you can get a lot of people ready to come to get what they need to be doing.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Queen of the Ring. And I'm feel bad about this one. But I'm gonna have to give my girl the business on this one, dog.
Oh, you go first then.
So, first of all, Asuka is a superstar. If you take all the women right now, she got to be in the top 5. She got to be in top 5. If you take all and they're not divas, knockouts. You take all the women, the professional women wrestlers that are in WWE right now, she got to be in the top 5. I'm not going to say she's the best. She got to be top 5. And to be out for 13 months from a knee injury, the performance that she put on, with even losing the match, and the match is only going to be remembered from the ending. They're not going to talk about anything else. The company might talk about something else, but everybody else that talks about wrestling, that's all they're going to talk about is the and I don't like to use the word botch, you know what I mean, because it's a one take deal. But Jade, I'm gonna tell you, the match was solid to a certain extent. Asuka put on a show, especially like the David and Goliath thing. You got the big powerhouse against the agile, hard hitting, hard kicking little one. You know what I mean? Because Asuka's a little thing now. But I mean, I love the way she came out and started off the match with she was not scared. She wasn't intimidated. She knew what her game plan was, and went after her. What is messing? I like Jade Cargill. I'm a Jade fan. First of all, she's beautiful. She's bad, so she automatically got my vote. But to me, she should be a little farther along than she is right now. And I think it's not really no time for you to. She's had the training. This is her second company. They've tried to polish her up, but I think she should be a little farther along than she is now. And what I mean by that is the knee thing. You go after the knee, and she gets all these moves in, and your knee hurts, and then automatically you're fine.
She don't sell it.
You did the kick up.
Yeah.
You know, you doing the kicks and everything. You did the splash.
The bro kick thing.
You did the splash on the ropes.
Yeah.
You know, her selling.
Yeah. Yeah.
The farther along the match went, the better the selling got from her, except for the knee, which was the whole thing they went after. A couple of times, she did the Randy Orton sell where he just falls over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some of those spots were good. What killed me was when the match was over, she sold the knee for a minute and it was the wrong one.
So the left one, not the right one.
Right. She sold the left one after the match, but it was the right knee that took the beating.
That when she really got caught in the rope and she did
yeah. And it just, she should be farther along than she is. With the pin, you got to know your momentum and who your opponent is. You can't take Bianca Belair and do her like this the same way you can Asuka. She's smaller, she's lighter. You got to start knowing these things more. And when the bend back thing and then falling over, and then Asuka's shoulders weren't down if you really technically a real wrestling match, which is supposed to be. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She just got to be, she needs to be farther along than she is. And now she's got a title shot. So to me, the thing would be to let Naomi cash in on her if she was to win at SummerSlam. So physically, she's ready to carry the company in the women's division. Athletically, she's not there yet. She's not there yet as far as putting these matches together and doing it, in my opinion. And I've been fighting for her since she's been there. You know what I mean? And I just don't think she's ready for the push that they about to give her. And we don't know what they know, and we don't see what they see. It's just like football. When such and such, everybody has a reason why the other quarterback should be starting, especially in college. Well, you need to play the freshmen and stuff. We watch it on Saturday. You're not at practice.
Right.
If the kid could play, he'd be playing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That you put your best guys on the field. And college is not the time to be saving somebody because you'll lose your job if you go 2-10 2 years in a row. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's almost like I said, I've been fighting for her. I don't think she's ready to be in the game yet. Like that. You know, but that's just my opinion.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Man, I wasn't gonna say those words verbatim, not in that way, but I'm very shocked that you said that because I know that that's your girl. And we talked about this selling before, though, not just with her. We talked about I can't remember what match it was at WrestleMania 41, but we talked about how matter of fact, it was the match with Chad Gable, El Grande, and Phoenix. How he didn't sell the ankle or whatever he had going on that match, but I'm with you, man. Now I can't to give her some credit. She hit her moves, her power moves. She stick them, and she got some decent power moves, like the one they did when Asuka had like some type of leg lock on her, and then she reached around and end up giving her like a German suplex. Like when she put that was cool. She has some power moves, but you're right though, man. It's the selling thing. It's a part of the story. It's a part of it, like especially with the David versus Goliath, the big woman versus the smaller woman, and she chopped her down with the tree. Like she chopping down the tree. Like Asuka has some great great submission holds. She definitely, I agree with you, man. Matter of fact, Oscar is probably out of all the, even the Divas era, and I'm gonna go all the way back to probably Trish and Lita, right? I'm starting with them because they was kind of one of the first ones that kind of really helped bridge that gap between the whole raunchy stuff they was doing back in the Attitude era. They kind of helped bridge the gap between they was good looking, but actually they can actually wrestle. They were kind of the ones that kind of like started, then of course it got better over time.
Right.
Like the Michelle McCool's and the Victorias. And, all that. All
Ivory and
Ivory. Even though Ivory and them was really before them, but they finally Jackie, but even then though, Oscars, I have to say she's probably my top 5 of all time.
All time, yeah.
Really. So I'm glad you said that too, because you took the words out. She kind of reminded me of
great topic to come up on as far as that we haven't even talked about. Talking about the top women wrestlers.
Right.
So we got to put that in the bank. Yeah.
Absolutely. But she being off for 13 months, she definitely did her part.
Right.
And like you said, she wasn't intimidated. I mean, no one's ready for Oscar. And she kind of like showed that she still have a lot in the tank. Great. I mean, I give Jay some. Jay had a few nice counters though.
Yeah, especially with the locks and picking them up.
Yeah,
but she's not going to wrestle an Oscar every time. It's going to be that light.
The pin attempts too was like like when Oscar had the submission on, and then she like got out of it by turning to a pin attempt, which she had let the hold go. Right, it was 2 of them she did like that. So I'm going to have to give her some credit on that one. But also another thing was kind of crazy was the crowd reaction towards Jade. They really didn't like her, and it was obvious, that was kind of awkward, so that kind of like did something to me too, kind of affected the mood of the match for me. I was already kind of thrown off about her selling because the knee thing was early in the match. And then when she made her comeback, it was like she was hitting moves, but it was like she wasn't even acting like her knee was hurt at all. Even after she do a kick and be like, oh, how sometimes they do. She didn't do none of that. It was just like
I would love to hear what like Kevin Nash, and I don't look at Kevin Nash being bitter yet, like an Animal, RIP Animal, or Bret Hart, or a lot of those guys that can't stand nothing about the wrestling business right now because it's not from their era.
Right.
But, a Kevin Nash and a Rey Mysterio. A Rey Mysterio is going to miss some clotheslines, run from getting locking up, and go drop kick him in the knees a couple of times.
Right.
Kevin Nash going to sell a knee the whole match.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to power bomb and buckle one time.
Right.
To where he try to power bomb and then drop down to a knee because they can't get him up because his knee hurts so bad.
Right.
But then we'll muster it up on the second one to kind of get it up there. But then when he wins the match, he's over there in the corner because they have a hard time getting up.
Right. Because
you know what I mean? Like
selling the knee. Yeah.
Right. It's such a lost art. And it's another thing that goes back to Triple H and HBK. Do they really get it? Like selling is a major part of this business. There's not a lot of Ricky Mortons running around. They talk about HBK with the overselling and stuff, but what a way to let it be known. Jacob Fatu is a monster. But when he caught that spike, he did a flip to show that's how much power his opponent had.
Right.
It's that's a part of it, making each other look amazing.
Absolutely.
So if Oscar can help Jade pick her up and holding on to her hands while she's pulling up, making sure she looks strong, she looks big. she's got to do the same thing, making it look like she was hurt and Oscar hurt her and had a game plan, but you still powered through and was able to win the match. I thought the match was good. I thought the selling and everything is all you're going to remember about it. You're not going to really remember anything else. And you're definitely only going to remember the finish.
I agree.
That hurts it.
One thing I'm going to say, and I meant to mention this in the other women's match, them chicks were dressed like Trinity from the Matrix, wasn't they?
Both of them were. That was crazy. They both had black on.
Yeah, well, Jade had the white. She only one had the all white.
Right.
But Rhea
and Raquel, they had Rhea and Raquel had the same thing on, but different material.
And Roxanne had all black on as well when she.
That's what I'm saying. When her and Rhea were wrestling, they had the same thing on, just different material.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So which was crazy, but yeah, that was cool. And we need to mention this. You had 2 women's matches in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
And that's saying a lot in itself.
Right.
Because before the women couldn't wrestle over there.
Yeah.
It was, frowned upon.
Right.
Now you had a 5-6 card match and 2 matches were women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely come a long way. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, the match was good as far as the moves and Asuka put on the show. But all you're going to remember is that bad finish. The bad pin with her falling over and pulling Asuka over with her. So, her shoulder wasn't up or wasn't down. And then, like I said, also the crowd reaction, because she even said that in the promo afterwards. You got to fight through the boos and stuff.
Right.
It was booing because you was out there messing up. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't the only fans that noticed that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that's really an issue they need to take a hold of and get it in. If you're going to give her this push, they need to be talking to her about that stuff. And I'm sure they are.
I'm sure they are, right?
You
know what? SummerSlam is around the corner, and who knows how it's going to play out as far as with Tiffany. But as of right now, it's going to be Jade obviously going to have that title shot.
Yeah.
Tiffany's current champion. I really don't want to see that.
No.
I know we know something's going to happen with Naomi. I want to see that.
But it's not.
But it's not like a match that I'm just like Tiffany versus Jade.
Please don't get us wrong. We dig the women wrestling.
Absolutely.
We like to see women go at it. We're not talking about because it's matches of the guys that we don't want to see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're out there listening, don't think we don't want to see because it's 2 women. It's 2 women that we don't want to see to go against each other. It's not, that doesn't make me want to buy a ticket with that match on the card. That's not I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, not that one.
Yeah, the cash in might make it worth it if Naomi were to cash in.
I'm sure that's going to probably, if it don't take place, it's going to be another flirt with it.
Yeah,
which I think with it being SummerSlam and 2-night event, they probably it's probably going down. Obviously, plus Naomi and Jade, that's the big
feud.
Yeah, that's a big feud. So
yeah, they got the most beef out of everybody.
Right.
Yeah, so that's got to come on. All right, man. Let's move past that one. We gave that a lot of time. Let's get to CM Punk and John Cena. The Unseen 17. First of all, the pipe bomb. We talked about the pipe bomb last week, but Friday, the Doctor of Punkonomics came out. And bro, you can hate on CM Punk all you want, and we have. I have. But When he said, "There's nobody that can touch me in this ring, touch me on that mic, touch me on commentary," he wasn't lying.
Mm.
He might not be the best in the world at everything, but he's the best in the world. And a lot of man on that mic, he's deadly. He's deadly on the mic for sure.
Yeah.
Deadly on the mic. I thought that was so cool how they did that. Came out there to his music, but had his own little, punkonomics. Brought up Nikki Bella. This man is married now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was some deep cutting stuff, which is part of it. And one thing I know about John Cena, you can like him, not like him. He can wrestle, he can't wrestle. He's definitely a company man.
Right.
And is not afraid to do those things and take it personal.
Right.
Because he likes to cut deep too.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's called a promo, kid. If you're going to be the big dog, you got to learn how to do it. He'll cut deep. That man called The Rock out for writing stuff on his hand, on his wrist. You don't call The Rock out for that stuff. You don't do that. Ain't nobody who's got balls big enough to call The Rock out to his face. At least I don't have to do this, and this, Dwayne. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But John Cena, I thought the match was scary and magical at the same time. There was a couple of scary parts of it when CM Punk jumped and overshot Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, I was going to get to that, but that, to me, that was the one. That was the one. I don't want to call it botch, but that was the one botch that was the only thing that I felt like that match that I had a blemish about, which is being petty. I mean,
yeah, and if you want to be super petty, the double choke slam into the table, they couldn't get him. They couldn't go at the same time.
All that was a part of that whole sequence, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That whole sequence was off.
Yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah. So, but you're right. That was right behind each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll use that as the one part, one little, like you say, the one little episode that they did that, they messed up on.
Right.
But the lot of false finishes, AA here, AA there, go sleep, AA, go to sleep, AA.
I mean, that mug Punk kicked out of 3 AAs, dog.
Nobody took a bigger bump than Charles Robinson did.
Oh yeah, that was almost like a pounce from Monty Brown, back in the day.
The alpha male. Man, shout out to Monty Brown wherever in God's green earth he is.
That's what it was like, though. Charles Robinson.
Funniest thing about Monty Brown when Christian said, what's the capital of Thailand? And then Monty Brown, go ahead, Mr. Geography, trying to sound so smart. He's like, Bangkok, and then hit him in the nuts. Hilarious.
Bangkok. Oh, Bangkok.
But yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah.
That was nasty. You almost had to cash in. They played that off so slick.
Yeah, he did.
To where Steph Curry stopped in, and then John Cena threw Seth over the ropes, got him up, pinned him, and ran out with the belt.
Right.
Typical heel. That's how you do it. Take advantage of everything. He's not, Cena's had quite a few matches where he would hesitate to do stuff and, against The Rock and stuff like that, and be able to talk about it. He's on all as a heel, he's on his all P's and Q's. It's some of his best work. We keep saying it, but it keeps getting better.
Yeah, this match had a lot of layers, man. I was both times when I watched it, I had the same feeling. I was really into it. And shout out Wade Barrett too, because uh he did a hell of a job. Michael Cole, he always gonna do his part. But Wade Barrett, man, like even just when Punk and Cena was doing their signature moves, and he was like, "Oh, we're getting all the greatest hits tonight,"
Yeah,
and they and I felt like it was 2012, bro.
yeah,
Watching them, man. Yeah, they older now and they don't move
yeah.
like they used to, but they was still doing the counters.
Right. But
There's a
they're
lot
not
of
broken
count.
down either. They're not broken
Yeah,
down. They can still go
lot
and
of
they can still
lot of
sell tickets.
lot of this match had a lot of counters, and
Mhm.
even when and something was gonna happen, then boom, you got the ref bump, boom, like well, there
Yeah,
it is. That's what's gonna happen. So of
right.
course, Punk like, come on, bring another ref,
Bring another
and
ref, and then
then
here comes Seth Rollins and
yeah,
his crew,
yeah, man,
the Rollins family.
what a visual that was.
Yeah,
They coming down to the ring, and Steph took his time. He took his jacket off, grabbed the briefcase, and he was like, he pointed to him. He was like, get him. And it was like a Bruce Lee movie.
yeah. I
But
like
Punk was
how
like,
Seth. I don't mean to cut you off. I love how Seth is still doing the crazy outfits,
right,
but it's all business. It's not
right,
dance. He's not dancing. He's still doing the crazy stuff, but it's not. He's all business.
right,
It is because even as a heel before, he was doing the dancing and stuff
right.
and acting crazy. Now he's a heel, same music, same outfits, but
But he ain't
it's
so much
focused.
acting like the Joker and shit. You know what
Right,
I
he's
mean?
focused. He's serious. He's
Yeah,
ready.
right,
And he knows what he wants to get.
right.
So I just thought it was. As far as matches go, I think Cody and Randy might have had the best match of the night as far as I go, but this one was very full. It was slick how they did everything, and it just keeps the story going. It keeps Cena the champ. It keeps Rollins as a heel, but still in the chase to get what's coming to him. And he's got an unstoppable crew too.
Yeah, plus it kept what, he screwed Punk again, because
Yeah,
even at the end, of course, you saw the interaction with Cena and Seth when he was like, "Why are you doing this now? Like what's wrong with you?" And of course, so Robin's like, "Well, all right, well, I'm gonna hit you with the briefcase then." And of course, he AA'd him and got Rollins
yeah,
out of the picture, and then it was like Punk, he did Bronson Reed was gonna do the tsunami. Punk pushed him off the top, and then it was like they had a moment. See, that was another thing that the story came full circle.
yeah, yeah.
They had a moment where they helped each other. Then it was like they walked
Cena
in the
gave him that
middle of the
look.
ring.
Yeah, they shook
Yeah,
hands and then
when they shook
hugged
hands,
and
yeah, to see that same look,
yeah,
and
and
then
then tried to kick him in the nuts again. Yeah.
yeah, he
But
countered it.
I like how they did that because the match wasn't over.
That's what I'm saying.
They shook
Yeah,
hands, they dapped up, hugged in the middle of the ring, and the match is still going.
yeah, it was cool, man. I
Yeah,
thought it went full circle, man, and especially
yeah,
for that's gonna be because when you look back at Cena's career, he had a lot of rivals. I mean,
yeah,
a lot. Randy, Edge, CM Punk, The Rock. I mean, he had a lot of rivals, a lot of like main rivals.
yeah,
But you
yeah.
have to they even said, Michael Cole said during the match that their record was 6-6 and won no contest as far as their careers.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Like I was
big.
like, whoa,
Yeah,
I don't know how true that is, but they could say anything we wouldn't know. Would they
yeah,
count house shows? I'm sure they did a house show. So I mean, it seemed like they wrestled more than 13 times up to that point. But
right,
probably televised matches. Yeah, that's probably what it was.
right. That's probably what they're
Uh,
going after.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like
but
Flair. I wrestled Steamboat 10,000 times.
right.
You know,
So,
but they might have like a 50 and 25 record or something. You
right,
know what I'm saying?
right. But I don't know, man. It just that, and as far as Cena's work, okay, the match with Randy, the Cody match at WrestleMania, the match with Randy. I'm not even counting the R-Truth matches because they weren't really long enough to really to be considered, you know.
Yeah.
What we're talking about here, but out of those matches, I feel like this was his best one yet.
Yeah.
I'm talking my opinion. Even with the wrestling, uh, and then even doing each other, like, you know, of course he did the STFU, and then later on Punk came back, countered, and hit him with the same thing, you know, and then they struggled on the ropes, and when he had Punk in the STFU, then they rolled over and Punk put him in I forgot what the hold he had him in, when he had him by the head, but it was they they did some good work, man. I felt like it was a lot of shenanigans. You know, I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. But
Yeah.
of course, Steph had a numbers game. So it does make sense for Penta and Sammy to run out there. Yeah, it was a lot, but they had the equalize them to get it back going. But I thought the finish was great though. Like even just with because it made you forget about Seth. And then like, oh, boom, he hit him with the briefcase and he stomped him, and he just but then Cena, of course, like you said, threw Seth out of the ring, and then it just funny thing, the referee was out that long, then all of a sudden he just gonna slide in the ring and get the 3 count.
But that also gives Seth the chance to keep. He didn't get the cash in. He was involved in the match, but he never gave a referee the briefcase, so he gets to keep it and lives to fight another day. And can still get that title shot whenever he wants.
Absolutely.
So it works out good. Like I say, the finish on that one was they really nailed that. They nailed it. It was slick how they did it. So what we do know is we got Cody and John Cena at SummerSlam for the rematch.
Right.
So definitely see how that goes. We'll be doing the review on that as well. But we know that we got that coming. We know we got a Bloodline Civil War coming. We know we got some Randy Orton and Cody stuff coming. In 2 weeks, next week when we do come back, we'll be doing the preview of Saturday night's main event, which is in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now. So that'll be our next episode with the return of Oldberg, and you know, and hopefully, listen, dude, if we gotta see an Oldberg match, I hope it's the last one, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But if that man wins the world title, I'm gonna do a Dave LaGreca on here if he wins the world title. we gonna get kicked off YouTube that night, dog. Because I'm gonna go crazy.
Speaking of the Dave LaGreca, congratulations. They launching July 1st. They launching a 24/7 wrestling radio channel on a Sirius XM. Shout out to Dave LaGreca on making that happen, man. That's pretty cool. Hopefully one day the wrestling boys could be a part of that channel one day.
Hey man, put us on. We don't want much. You know what I'm saying? We
like,
want
comment,
some. We don't want much.
People like, comment, subscribe. I know
subscribe
a lot of y'all
to
be
the channel,
the
man. Help us get out there.
Hit that like button, man. I get more text messages from people tell me they like the video, and I be wondering, are they one of the ones that hit like? Because we get like 6 likes, and about 10, 15 people text me and be like, hey, I like that video. I'll be like, okay, but you like it on YouTube?
Right. We need y'all to know how important it is to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. We're at 121 right now. Subscribe. Like.
And for the ones who have,
man, thank y'all. We love y'all.
We really
appreciate
it.
y'all.
And for the faithful ones who really do watch it every week, you know, like a Keith Dollar or somebody, I'm going to say a few names. We really appreciate y'all. I know y'all the homies, but we really appreciate y'all for helping us keep this thing going, man.
Absolutely. Hey, man, so when we come back next week, we're going to review Saturday night's main event. And the week after that, we'll do the preview, and then we'll do the review, and then we'll get back on our topics before SummerSlam. But also, if you're just checking in, and hey man, take a look at the segments from the Marietta Football Legends. We got 2 episodes in there in the archives. Check them out. We got a lot of surprises and a lot of good ones coming up. So we're gonna keep it that. And it's forever and always welcome to wrestling.
Welcome to wrestling.
It's welcome to wrestling. Hey man, see y'all next week. Welcome to wrestling.
Welcome to wrestling, Chetty Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the POT. Podcast tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it like just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash straight to the face. I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to wrestling's where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to wrestling's where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't